Buy my shirt, buy my hat, buy it all. Come watch me stream, yeah. Shorty a little baddie, shorty my little boo. Oh my god, guys, did you guys know that Shorty is not only a little baddie, but also my boo thing? Hey everybody, what's up? If you're new to my channel, my name is Chris Klemens, or in front of my Clementines. Welcome back to the dysfunction that is my channel. Today you're gonna really see how much of a stalker Sarah I am. And I now realize that only a select handful of people are gonna understand that reference, so go me. I'm gonna need a lot of energy for this one, so excuse me. You can get 20% off every purchase with Chris20 at checkout. You're welcome. These are really the only reason that I show life some days. Now, somebody who's been really hitting rock bottom of boredom, I have been turning back to my original love, YouTube, and I have been watching some videos of my favorite people. Oh god. One of those videos was by my good friends Carly and Aaron, and they ranked celebrities that they have met. They did mention that Colleen Ballinger came up with this idea first, but I saw it through Carly and Aaron. I thought that this would be a really fun video idea because obviously I've told story times about meeting celebrities, but I have forgotten how many celebrities I've met and how many casual encounters with celebrities I've met. It really doesn't faze me much anymore. I've come up with quite a list of people that I at least remember taking pictures with or like having a conversation with. These aren't even the casual encounters. But before we get into this video, as you guys know, I've been dedicating my videos to different small businesses, organizations, causes that need our help, and this one came from one of you guys. And like I mentioned in a past video, if you know of small businesses, causes, organizations, just things that you love and are passionate about that are doing great or need support, you can email Chris at chrisklemens.com with a donation link, more information, social accounts, just so I can look into it as well. This one is from Jaden Turner, and it says, "Hi Chris, Performers Music is a small music store in the Chicago Fine Arts Building. Musicians all around Chicago and visitors rely on them for access to sheet music, recordings, etc. Obviously, thanks to COVID, the music industry is struggling greatly and Performers Music is in danger. Seeing stores close, orchestras cancel their concerts, and gig work dry up can be very discouraging for young musicians who are wanting to go into the arts. They are pretty close to reaching their listed goal on GoFundMe. Maybe Clementines can help save them." I saw this one and I was thinking of when I was younger, and just having creative outlets truly, I think, is the reason I'm here. I also picked it because they are close to their goal, and I think us Clementines can fucking do this. Even if it's just $1, it goes so much further in a group. But anyways, I'm gonna leave the link down below. Please go support if you can, and if you can't, even just sharing it to someone who might have an extra $5 laying around. So guys, let's band together and help out Performers Music in Chicago. And speaking of performers, we have a list of mostly performers. Oh boy, I'm just gonna create a feud with. Now, like I mentioned a minute ago, I did a story time video about 3 celebrities, Ed Sheeran, Emma Watson, and Hilary Duff, and I figured I'd start with those, as if you watch that video, you kind of already know those, so figured get them out of the way now. Also, these are just my experiences. I wanna make sure I preface this video with that I understand that some days you have a bad day, some days you're just not in the mood. So I get it, but this is just my story. Also, the way I'm gonna rank them is similar to how Carly and Aaron did it. 1 being absolute worst experience, wish this never happened, to 10 being like, I have not stopped thinking about you since. First up, we have Ed Sheeran, and while I may be out of my Ed Sheeran stan phase, I will always love Ed Sheeran because of how nice he was. But Ed Sheeran was so nice. He was so personable. He remembered me from seeing me front row earlier in the night. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, actually. Ed Sheeran, I would give like an 11 out of 10. Truly just the nicest guy. Next up, we have Emma Watson, which is another story that you can go watch in that video. Emma Watson in person is literally perfect. Granted, we did meet in the middle of a taping, and then I lifted her off the ground in a hug. Yeah, it's like a whole video. She was so nice, so sweet. I don't know, she just gave off the vibe that she was very warm and inviting. Because of that, 11 out of 10, and mostly you got pushed to an 11 out of 10, Emma, because I did lift you off the ground. Thank you. Anyways, next up we have Hilary Duff. This is the 3rd person from the Storytime video. The first time I met Hilary Duff was backstage at the Dignity tour. She was so nice. She was like so patient, so like talkative. The next 2 times I met her were at book signings. One of those book signings you can hear about in the story time. And then I've pretty much just seen her constantly out and about getting coffee now, so it is kind of like her revenge to me that I just constantly see her and am reminded of all of the cringiness. So yeah, Hilary Duff's getting like a full 10. Next up we have Alec Baldwin, and this was so scary. So I went to NYU, and my freshman year I lived right off of Washington Square Park. Friday mornings in the park were always dead. I always had a morning class that I walked through the park, so it was really nice and peaceful. And one day I see Alec Baldwin sitting on a bench with his dog, just chilling. I'm from Delaware, so like the biggest people that came to Delaware were like Allie and AJ one year. So I'm like, oh my god, that's Alec Baldwin. How, like, that's a star. I do want to backtrack and say that my social skills when it comes to celebrities, I do not condone, I do not support, I think are so embarrassing. Ugh, I just wish I could erase from my memory. So I walked up to Alec Baldwin and I was like, oh my god, Alec, you're like amazing, can I get a photo? And he was like, don't ever ask me for a photo again. And I am standing in front of Alec Baldwin just, okay. And then I just walked away. Truly awful. Oh my god. Obviously because of that, I have to give that fond memory a 1. That was so scary. He scares the shit out of me. Next up we have Amanda Siegfried. I don't really know how to say her last name. Sheeran from Mean Girls. That's probably the most universal way of me saying who I'm talking about. This was also freshman year of college and also in Washington Square Park. She was at the dog park and I had my best friends from high school visiting me. I was like, fuck, I've got to make New York look so cool. And thank you, Amanda Seifried. I guess I don't really remember much, but I don't remember a negative experience, so I'll give her like a 9 out of 10. You know, it wasn't like, but it wasn't trauma. She was just very calm and quiet. I was just like, yeah, okay. Oh, next up we have Jonah Hill, who I met many times because I was an extra on the set of Wolf of Wall Street. I should do some kind of story time about that. There was one day in particular that I was in the stairwell of one of the Office scenes, and Jonah Hill was taking a phone call in the stairwell, and I was coming up the stairs, I see him, and he had just gotten off the phone. He had his giant fake teeth in for that movie. Horrifying. So it's just me and him on the landing of the stairwell. And I'd heard on set that it was his birthday, so I was like, happy birthday, Jonah! And he was like, oh my god, man, thanks so much. Yeah, I don't know what compelled me to wish Jonah Hill a happy birthday. Then I walked through the door, because if I stayed there any longer, it would have been just so weird. So yeah, I'm just gonna give Jonah like an 8.5 out of 10, because that wasn't really a great insight into Jonah Hill, but it wasn't, once again, trauma. Next up, we have Miss Kendall Jenner. This I constantly forget happened. I've actually had a few run-ins with Kendall Jenner, but I've had one selfie moment. So this was in New York, I think probably my last year of living there, and it was my friend Emily, I think Lexi, and me. We were walking down Houston Street, which is where Kim and Kanye's apartment used to be or something. That was just like common knowledge living in New York, and like NYU was right there, so all of the students would be like, oh, that's Kim and Kanye's apartment. So I was walking with Emily and Lexi, and we were walking down Houston, and I was like, oh, in that next block, that's Kim and Kanye's apartment. I saw this guy standing there in just like, you know, it's colder, so coating, layers, etc. The next thing we know, we see a black Escalade fly by us and then just do like a quick, like, Mission Impossible. So by the time the car pulls up to the curb, we are on the same block as the apartment. And so literally, Kendall Jenner gets out of the car and walks in front of us. I don't know what compelled me to literally say, Kendall, can I get a picture? Chris, what? So I embarrassingly bark for a picture, and I hear her mumble something, but I couldn't really understand it, and she walks inside, and I was like, oh my god, damn, she just like straight up ignored me. It felt like shit. So I go to talk to Emily and Lexi, and they're behind me pointing like, Chris, she's in there waiting for you. She's in the lobby of Kim and Kanye's apartment, waving at me to come in. So I walk in, she was like, sorry, there was just a paparazzi out there, and I didn't want to do this with him just taking pictures. And I was like, that felt so nice to make sure that some rando who was walking down the street got a picture with her. I know a lot of people have different stories with Kendall, but that really was like a 9.5, if not 10 out of 10. Next up, we have Lady Gaga, and I met Lady Gaga at Fashion Week in New York. Because I went to photography school and still am interested in fashion, shooting Fashion Week was something that was really exciting for me. So one of the shows I was shooting one season was Brandon Maxwell, and he was someone who had worked with Lady Gaga, and I think this was maybe his first show. But when I got there was like a line to get in for all of the people working it and shooting it and press and all of that stuff. Because Lady Gaga, everybody knew that she was gonna be there. I finally get in and I go to where the photographers are standing, and I was like, oh my god, Lady Gaga is right over there. I thought it was cool to see her kind of in her element. Basically what happened is Lady Gaga was standing against like the wall that the models walked out from behind, and she was like taking pictures in front of the Brandon Maxwell logo, and so I was taking these pictures as well. I have like the sickest photos of Lady Gaga at this show. So then as they were like, okay, no more pictures, like we're done, photographers please like get to your places or whatever, I found this moment where she and I were like this close to each other, and I was like, Lady Gaga, can I get a picture together? I'm such a little monster. What is it with not only the irritable bowel syndrome that is in my asshole, but apparently in my mouth? I mean, just shit flies out of it. She had like a second of hesitation where she wanted to say no, you could like tell. But she took this selfie with me, and you know, it wasn't anything crazy. She wasn't like mean or anything. She was just definitely preoccupied. So I would say it was like a 7 out of 10 in terms of just, Chris, it wasn't the right place, therefore why would she give you a 10 out of 10 experience? Next up we have Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, which I cannot believe was only 10 days into this quarantine. There's a whole video about this on my channel, and honestly there's news outlets. It was international news. Chrissy Teigen and John Legend are like 15s out of 10, like 20s out of 10. They were so nice, so funny, so genuine. I'm not saying this with bias. I'm not saying this because we're like some sort of friends now. It's not that I was assuming they would have an ego, but like these are like serious names. Normal fucking people who just happen to show up in a beautiful Range Rover and dressed beautifully. They're probably tied for first with like just most genuine people on this list that I've met. Next up we have Charlie XCX, which also I'm now realizing is a video on my YouTube channel. I met Charlie XCX in North Carolina because Yahoo hired me to interview her, and that is actually where I met Claudia Sulewski. Basically, yeah, Yahoo was having a tour with different artists all over the country, and the stop in North Carolina. Oh boy. But basically I was hired to interview Charlie XCX. I was super nervous going into this, but she was really chill and honestly made me feel very comfortable and was very nice and just, I don't know, laughed and was engaged in the conversation no matter how bad my questions were. I would say it was like a solid 8.5 or 9 out of 10. She just seemed really tired and like quiet and to herself, which I totally get. I probably internalized it as like she hates me. Next up, we have 3 Bachelor members. Hannah B, Ben, someone, and then somebody I literally didn't know. Basically, Christine and I were getting interviewed on Z100, I believe it was. They were in the studio next door recording a Bachelor podcast. So the guy doing the radio interview literally called them in, and they came in and they just kind of had like an arrogance of like, we're from The Bachelor and we don't really care who anybody in here is. It was just like, I don't know how else to describe it. It was just funny because the arrogance they came with just was so, just like, shut up and do your Fit tea ads, okay? There was some charity aspect that they entered the situation with that I was like, settle down, friends. Because of that, I'll give them like a 4 out of 10. It was really just so weird. It was so weird! Last but not least, we have Adam Levine, and I met him at an event here when living in Los Angeles, and I don't even really understand this scenario. In LA, a lot of events will be at like giant mansions, some of which have views, and I had actually been to this mansion a few times for events. I brought my friend Emily, and we show up to this severely underdressed. When I say underdressed, I don't even think I can like off the cuff describe how underdressed we were. So Emily and I get there, we notice that we're underdressed, and we also notice that we are the only 2 people there that aren't working for the event. So we're just standing around, kind of super duper out of place. And then this PR woman comes and goes, all right, Adam Levine is ready. Let's go meet him now. Emily and I were like, wait, what? What is happening? So she takes us into the master bedroom of this home, and like on the way she's like low-key selling it. There were some people who were taking pictures with him before that I had no idea who they were. And then it was our turn. So as Emily and I are approaching Adam to take a picture, Emily steps on his foot, which are brand new sneakers. And then he compliments my outfit, to which I reply, "Oh, I wish I got the memo of head to toe sweats." And that, yeah. As a former Maroon 5 fan, I will say though that Adam was very personable, seemed very like tired or chill or mellow, but not in a rude way at all. I'm gonna give Adam like a 9 out of 10. Just there wasn't anything bad going on. I don't know. I feel like this whole video I just fucking kissed people's asses, but like maybe I just have really good ways with people. Who knows? Maybe it's me. Such a people person. Oh my god, as I'm closing out this video, I'm just remembering, I did also meet Kendall Jenner where I physically body slammed her at the Harper's Bazaar icon party during one fashion week one year. Anyway, I need to call my therapist. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have you had any weird, cringy, amazing encounters with celebrities? Leave them down below. I definitely want to read your guys's to feel a little bit better about mine. Again, be sure to go down below and donate to support performers' music, and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I am streaming and have been doing a bunch of Among Us streams, so if you want to go watch those, just subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, you get to subscribe for free by connecting it to your Twitch. Oh wow, okay, I'm gonna go dispose of this list so I hopefully never remember any of these stories ever again, because trauma.